Thank you very much. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show.
Hello, hello, hello. And to the shoe. Me tonsils nearly came out
Yeah,
then.
very nearly came out then.
Oh, I see.
What?
Look at that. You've got a new book, Mr. Derek.
Well, not exactly, Basil. This is a brochure.
Oh, a brochure?
A brochure, yes.
Looks like a book to me. God.
It's a brochure of an exhibition I saw last week at the British Museum.
Oh, yes?
Yes, and look at these fabulous treasures.
Oh, I see. That's a nice flower pot.
It's not a flower pot. That is an Egyptian urn.
Huh?
Well, go on, say it.
Say what?
Well, if you say what's an Egyptian urn, I can say about £4 a week. That's one of my favourite jokes.
Is it really?
You know, I often go to the British Museum.
To visit your favourite jokes?
I go to see the exhibitions, and this one is fantastic.
Is it really?
It really is marvellous.
Yeah.
Look, you tell me, who is that?
Mick Jagger.
It's not Mick Jagger.
Mick Jagger's wife.
Try again.
His mother-in-law. We got it in!
I got it in. Hey, Basil.
Yes, yes.
You know, in 1922, Howard
yes.
Carter,
Yes.
the famous archaeologist, made a
Yes.
fantastic discovery.
Oh, yes.
Yes, you know, Teuton. You remember? Teuton?
Tutankhamun.
No. The ancient Egyptian boy king, you know.
Oh, of course. He's very well known, isn't he?
Yes, he is, very well known.
And he should be. He was named after a famous English beauty spot. Tutankhamun.
Not Tutankhamun, Tutankhamun, Kamoon.
Ooh! All right. There's no need to get your tummy in a turmoil.
Hey,
Kamoon.
Tutankhamun was born over 3,000 years ago.
Oh, yes.
And if you go to the British Museum, you can see his mummy.
Of course, she must be getting on a bit. How's his daddy?
He hasn't got a daddy.
Poor little chap. All together now. Ah!
Hey, Basil.
Oh, I see.
What?
That's interesting.
What's that?
Over there. You just turn it back again. Turn it back. Look, it says the shield and crossed arrows was a symbol of ancient Egyptian goddess of war.
Oh, you mean knit.
I am not a mean nit.
No, look, I don't mean you're a knit, you knit. The goddess of war was called Knit.
Oh, yeah.
And the sun god was called Amun.
Eamon Andrews?
Amun-Ra.
Ah.
Many Egyptian gods were called Ra.
Yeah.
King Hip-Hip was a descendant of the sun god. You've heard of Hip-Hip?
Hip who?
Ra.
Hip hoorah! He sounds a cheerful sort of fella.
Basil,
Yeah?
have you any idea where Howard Carter's diggings were?
I think he had a room in Chelsea. My friend had a room in Chelsea. £12 a week. It's in a basement, but it's under a very nice road.
Basil, I'm talking about his excavations, the Valley of the Kings,
Yeah.
where the pharaohs were buried.
Ah, now that's strange. I had a dream last night. I dreamt I had a house in the Valley of the Kings. Yes. I had pharaohs at the bottom of my garden. I had pharaohs at the bottom of my garden. You know, fairy at the bottom. Oh, come on. I say.
Yes?
Did Mr. Carter do all this digging by himself?
No, he had some helpers.
Oh, did he?
You know, it's very nice, Basil, when you've got somebody that you can rely on.
Oh, it is.
And you've got somebody you can always rely on, haven't you?
Yes, I certainly have.
Friends. Isn't it rather nice to have friends? Isn't it rather nice to have friends to rely upon, shoulders to cry upon? You must have friends. Friends. How can you get along without friends? How can you get along without someone to help you out?
When you are down and out, you must have friends.
I rely on my friends. They help me in all I do.
I don't try to buy friends, for though it seems funny, no amount of money buys friends. Nothing is quite complete without friends.
And if you ever meet the one who will be part of life,
Right from the start of life until the end, then, my friend, you've met a friend.
Great, great.
kinds of creepy crawlies grow in my English country garden. I'll tell you now of some that I know, and if I beg your pardon. Ladybirds and earwigs, crawly bugs and thingamajigs, hairy-legged spiders and thingy-bees. Hiding in the ferns are lots of squirmy worms in our English country garden.
Hi, Basil.
Oh, morning, Mr. Derek.
How's the gardening going?
Well, I'm making progress. But it's blooming hard work. I feel like throwing in the trowel. Still, this is better than that great big vegetable garden I had last year. All that digging.
Well, what did you grow?
Round-shouldered. Oh, I can't stand all that heavy spade work, Mr. Derek.
No, neither can I, Basil. I don't dig it. Hey, that was a joke.
Yes,
Get it?
I don't think I want it, though.
Hey,
Yeah?
well, what have you done in the garden today?
Well, I spent the morning running the heavy roller over my spud patch.
Heavy roller?
Yeah.
What for?
I want to grow mashed potatoes. No, I'm only kidding, Mr. Derek. Actually, I lifted some potatoes this morning. What do you think of those in the barrow?
Let's have a look. Are they King Edward's?
No, they're mine. You can have some if you like.
Well, they're not very big, are they?
Well, that doesn't matter. Be grateful for small Murphys. Be grateful for small Murphys. Go on, say it.
I got it.
What? Hey!
What?
Buzz off! Go on up it!
Hey, who are you shouting at?
Those children from next door. Do you know I laid a new concrete path yesterday morning and they ran all over it before it was dry? Little perishes.
Well, don't go on like that. I thought you liked children.
Oh, I do, but only in the abstract, not in the concrete. God.
Well, I think you made a very nice job of weeding this garden.
Oh, thank you. Yes, that little book was... You've knocked all my spuds on the floor.
Oh, I'm sorry, Basil, I'm sorry.
Blue spuds for supper. That little book was very handy, that was.
How to weed your garden.
Yes, it's a sort of Reader's Digest. Hey!
What's that?
What's that humming noise?
Bees.
Huh?
You know why bees hum, don't you?
Yes, bees hum because they don't know the words.
It's the sound of their wings.
Is it really? Cool. Hey, get...
Hey, Basil.
Go away, you silly little bee. Go on, buzz off.
Hey, Basil.
Huh?
That's a queen bee.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, Your Majesty.
She spreads the pollen to make your flowers grow.
Oh, thank you, Queenie, wherever you are.
Hey! This is a new addition to the garden, isn't it?
Ah, yes, that's a sundial. All old English gardens have sundials, you know.
Well, what's the light for?
Ah, that's so that you can tell the time at night.
And I suppose this is another of your brilliant ideas, curtains round the bird bath.
Well, they're entitled to some privacy while they're taking a bath, aren't they? I say, pull the curtains. Go on, pull the curtains. Hey, look at that one. He's blushing.
He's not blushing. It's a robin. That's a very nice touch.
Huh?
Where did you get those from?
Ah, I got those on the National Health Service.
Well, they don't look very happy, do they?
No, perhaps they're gnome sick. Gnome sick!
Well, Basil, you've got all the extras, but there aren't many flowers in this garden, are there? Have you seen... You know the lady next door?
Yeah.
She's got a beautiful garden.
Has she really?
Have you seen her early bloomers?
I beg your pardon?
Have you seen the lady's early bloomers?
God! Well, really, Mr. Derek?
What's the matter?
You shouldn't mention the lady's unmentionables.
I didn't. She has some very beautiful early bloomers.
God! You said it again! God!
Hey,
Yeah?
what about that gardener? Did you read about that gardener who said
Yeah.
that you can grow flowers just by singing to them?
You're having me on.
Well, I'm not.
Huh?
That's what he claimed.
Really?
I wonder if it's true.
Huh?
Shall we try?
Oh, all right.
Just a rose in a garden of weeds. How about that?
God!
You like that?
It works!
It works.
Hey, shall I have a go?
Yeah, you have a go.
All right.
Okay.
Tiptoe through the tulips, through the tulips. That blooming thing's tone deaf. Go! Hey!
What's up?
What? Look at that!
All right, Master, don't panic. Don't panic.
Take it away, please!
Don't panic, it's only a hairy caterpillar.
How do you know? It might be a rich worm in a fur coat. God, I can't stand it. Yeah?
Why haven't you planted these seeds?
Huh?
Phlox. Phlox is a very beautiful plant.
Oh, I know. But they only come out when it's dark.
Well, where did you hear that from?
At school, don't you remember? The shepherds watch their flocks by night, all seated on the... Don't you hit me?
Now, where did you? Basil, I'm very worried.
Oh,
I
yes?
think you ought to have more blooms than this by now.
Oh, you're right, Mr. Derek. Yeah, I'm a bit worried about it myself. It was the same last year.
Was it?
Couldn't get any flowers to grow. I worked and slaved. Very disappointing. Every dahlia was a failure.
Well, what did you put in the soil?
Seed.
No, to feed the soil. Peat's very good.
Pete Murray?
No, just peat.
Pete who?
Pete Nobody.
That's a funny name.
Peat is a vegetable tissue decomposed by water into a carbonaceous compound.
You don't say.
I do say.
And you said it very well.
Thank you. You could do with some peat in your soil.
Huh?
It makes very good manure or fertilizer.
Really?
Yes, you want to put some on your rhubarb.
Oh, I prefer custard.
I mean, while it's still growing.
Oh, I beg your pudding.
It's all right. You know what the old gardeners say?
Oh, no.
The old gardener will tell you, and you can't beat the old ones,
yes,
that if your rhubarb is backward...
Bend it forward. Boom, boom!
You can't beat the old ones, can you? Oh, we got plenty of those tonight.
Hey, what I'm trying to tell you is that if you have good manure in your soil, you can grow almost anything.
Oh, I remember once my Uncle Fred had a big box of seeds. Yes. He didn't have the faintest idea what they were. So he planted them, and then he covered the whole garden with manure, about 6 inches deep.
What came up?
The sanitary inspector.
Hey, what's this?
Huh?
Magic spray puts life into your garden.
Yeah.
Does it work?
I don't know, I haven't tried it
I think we better try.
Yeah.
Not much life in this garden at the moment, is there?
Not at all.
Okay, let's have a spray.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Hey, cool. Well, I'll go to the Elephant and Castle.
Jay.
Cool. You've put life into my little gnomes.
And we are very grateful, mortal. How can we repay you?
Well, could you make my flowers grow?
A simple task, Basil.
Huh?
Behold!
Hey, look!
Oh, go!
Here they come.
Good grief! Go!
Hey,
Oh!
wait. Well, Basil,
Yes.
I thought that was marvellous.
Oh, yes. Percy Thrower will be livid.
Yeah.
Everything in the garden's blooming lovely. Everything in the garden's doing fine. There are dahlias and azaleas, petunias and stocks,
And beautiful anthuriums around me hollyhocks.
helianthemums and chrysanthemums, petunias and lupins by the score.
My Edelweiss is looking very nice. And my Japonica's never been so big before.
Everything in the garden's blooming lovely, especially when the sun begins to shine.
Your polyanther starts to grow, your roses bud, and then you know everything in the garden's doing fine. Hey, look at that! Self-raising flower. Everything in the garden's doing fine. Everything in the garden's doing fine.
Steal my woman, please make it quick and painless. I know I should, but I couldn't stay just to hear you confess. I like it that way.
I like it that way.
Yeah, I like it that way.
I like it that way.
Well, I may be a fool, but I like it that way.
It's time, once again, for another episode in our serial story, Basil the Buccaneer. Now, remember what happened last week, Basil?
Not half. And so does the boy who sent this letter. God.
Well, does he mention me?
Oh, yes, he mentioned you, all right.
Ah, that's nice.
You think so?
Yeah.
Listen. Dear Basil, in last week's story of Basil the Buccaneer...
You're going to kill yourself.
Mr. Derek said that the word boy was spelt B-O-U-Y. Please tell him it should be B-U-O-Y. Boom, boom, Gary Horton.
Basil, I realised afterwards what I'd done. It was a printer's error.
Was it?
With all your interruptions, I didn't notice it.
Yeah.
So I said O-U instead of U-O.
Yeah.
And Gary and everybody, I'm very sorry.
Beautifully said.
Thank you.
Aren't you going to apologise to me?
I apologise to you.
I accept your apology. Come on, come on.
In last week's instalment, Captain Basil and his crew had a very bad spell.
So did you, B-O-U-Y.
Basil! If you don't stop interrupting, I won't read the story. Just mind your P's and Q's.
I'll watch my P's and Q's if you watch your O's and U's.
Now, where was I?
Hanging on to my hooter.
Oh, sorry. Now, you're a good one to talk about spelling with your school report.
Well, I did very well at school. In the examinations, I always came top of those that failed.
But please, Basil, no more remarks. No more remarks about spelling.
Righto. You.
Come out! Come out!
Captain Basil and his crew had a very bad spell when the Sea Fox was hit by a storm.
Yeah.
The ship had suffered heavy damage, the rigging was tangled, the sails were torn, and they had lost a lot of gear.
Yeah, even the mizzen mast was missing.
And the missing mast was missing. Boom, boom.
That's a good one, wasn't
Yes.
it? Yeah.
But after many days of hard work, the vessel was shipshape again.
Yeah.
Now, remember last week?
Yeah.
We left Tiddler, the cabin boy, sitting on the stern castle?
Yes.
When a big head suddenly rose out of the sea.
Yes, yes.
Dripping with water and covered in seaweed. With a startled cry, Tiddler jumped off the rail and yelled, "Captain!"
Huh?
Captain Basil came running from his cabin.
What about old Big Head?
Just wait a minute. "What ails thee, lad?" he shouted as he bounded up the steps to the afterdeck.
Yeah.
And he stood back and laughed as he saw the enormous figure at the stern.
Yeah.
It's a sea monster, Captain, stammered the boy, pointing with a trembling hand. Tiddler's terror was excusable.
Oh, I should blooming well think so. Cool. A big-headed brontosaurial beast popping up like that out of nowhere? Cool. It would give anyone the screaming habble-dabbles, wouldn't it? Cool.
Yes, it would.
I wasn't even there.
Yeah.
And I've got shivers up my brush. Come on, come on.
Tiddler's terror was excusable, for this giant man from the sea...
Man?
Yes. This giant man from the sea presented an awesome sight as he towered above the deck, brushing the seaweed from his long hair and beard. He wore a huge iron crown on his head, and in his hand he held a trident. His wet beard had a greenish tinge to it.
Too much chlorophyll in his toothpaste.
But Tiddler suddenly realised that the big twinkling eyes and broad grin gave the huge face a happy, friendly expression.
Oh, it's not a baddie, it's a goodie.
Yes, it's a goodie.
Oh, thank goodiness. God. I'm glad he's on our side.
Belay there, Basil.
I beg your pardon?
Belay there, Basil.
I'm afraid I can't. I don't know how to.
How to do what?
Belay there. I've never belayed there before.
Don't say a word. It's a nautical expression.
Oh.
And in any case, I'm not talking to you.
Ooh, pardon my interjection. Oh.
The giant steep laugh boomed across the water. What?
Boom, boom.
What you doing?
Booming across the water.
No. "Greetings, Your Majesty," laughed Captain Basil. "Tiddler, pay your respects to His Majesty King Neptune."
Sounds more like King Kong.
It's not. It's not King Kong, it's King Neptune.
Who's he?
You've never heard of Neptune?
Well, I don't have a lot to do with the royals, you see. I'm very friendly with the corgis.
Look, every nautical man knows about Neptune.
Oh, but I'm not nautical, am I? I'm a fox, not a sea dog.
Look, among the nautical fraternity, Neptune is a household name.
Really?
Yeah.
My friend has a household name.
Has he? What's he called?
Kitchen. Fred Kitchen. You couldn't get more household than that, could you? I wonder if there's anyone called Bertie Bucket. Or Charlie Gastoon. They're good household name.
Yeah, what about Basil Brush?
Yes, what about Hey, watch it. Basil's a nice name.
Yes, yes, I know it is.
I'd rather be called Basil than Fred. Every Tom, Dick and Harry's called Fred.
The cabin boy bowed low to the giant monarch of the sea. This is the newest member of my crew, Your Majesty, said Captain Basil. Young Thomas Burke, known to his friends as Tiddler.
I like Tiddler.
Ho, ho, laughed Neptune.
Ho, ho, ho.
I have many tiddlers among my subjects. Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, 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 and a bottle of rum.
Thank you. His Majesty is a great friend to us, lads, said the captain, and comes to our aid when we are in mortal danger at sea.
Yes.
That's true, young man, said Neptune, but only if I feel the situation is hopeless. I knew you would weather that big storm, so I did not interfere. I was happy to see you battle against the wind and the waves.
Charming. Blow you, Jack. I'm all right. Cool. With friends like that, you wouldn't need enemies.
If men choose to destroy one another, he said, so shall it be, upon their own heads. And pointing with a massive finger towards the horizon, he said...
It's rude to point.
Look, I'm not pointing, Neptune is.
Well, tell him it's rude to point.
Basil, shut up. And such an encounter is imminent, I fear. Good luck, Captain. Defend yourselves with honour. Then he disappeared beneath the waves. My spyglass. Quickly, boy.
How do you spell it?
Spell what?
Boy.
B-O-Y. Why?
B-O-Y-Y? That's worse than B-O-U-Y. You will get another letter next week.
Oh, you should be so lucky.
Raising the telescope to his eye, the captain saw a large man of war, little more than a league away, twice as large as the Sea Fox, and bearing jet black sails. He lowered the glass and muttered, "Blackbeard by thunder!"
Blackbeard by thunder.
That's all we got time for this week, Basil.
All we got time for, but Blackbeard's going to fire a broadside into his bulwarks.
Listen next week to another thrilling episode of Basil the Buccaneer. Basil and his buccaneers prepare to face the foe.
Blackbeard's trying to clobber him and send him down below.
But Basil never runs away, he'll face him.
Yes, I know.
The villains used to tremble when they heard his name. Can the gallant captain win another victory?
They mustn't start the battle yet, he hasn't had his tea.
Will the captain win the day?
Of course, you wait and see.
And everywhere he went, they heard his battle cry. He was a brave, brave man! Buccaneering Basil, a pirate bold was he, and a privateer, he knew no fear, he sailed the mighty sea. Again and again on the rolling main, his enemies